Welcome to Lincoln Park Guide TV, brought to you by Tico Studios and funded by the Allegheny Franciscan Ministries through the Protecting the Village campaign. I'm your host, Anthony Maynard, and today we have with us Lashonda Henderson and Venice Gilmore. Lashonda and Venice, could you tell us a little bit about yourselves, give us a little bit about your background, and if you're originally from Fort Pierce, your education and so forth?
Sure, I'll go first. Hello, I'm Lashonda Henderson, a native of Fort Pierce, born and raised in Sheridan Plaza. I am a graduate of Westwood High School, Westwood High School, and I am also a graduate of Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia, as well as Webster University in St. Louis, Missouri. I am a licensed mental health counselor here in the state of Florida, as well as in the state of Georgia, where I specialize in treating individuals, particularly young ladies and women who've experienced trauma, rather in the form of domestic violence, child or sexual abuse.
Hi, I'm Venice Gilmore. I'm a native of the city of Fort Pierce. I attended Lincoln Park Academy and I graduated from Florida Atlantic University with a degree in urban and regional planning, and I'm currently a city planner with the city of Fort Pierce.
Okay, awesome. That is good background information on you both. Now you're both back here in Fort Pierce and helping the community. You are both members of Lincoln Park Young Professionals. Can you give us some background on the group, what they're about, what the mission is?
Yes, our mission is to unify the Lincoln Park community through education, advocacy, and empowerment. We formed in the year 2017. There's a group of us, 7 founders. Myself, Lashonda, and 5 other members. We decided that we wanted to make a change in the community and build it up and build everybody around us. That's pretty much it. I can go into detail later, I guess, about one of our huge projects that we have going.
Okay, having formed a group and you guys are active now, one of the things that I wanted to ask you about is the functioning of the group and what you guys have done during the COVID-19 pandemic. Getting a group, starting in 2017 and getting a group off the ground is challenging as it is. But now encountering this year with the pandemic, COVID-19, and how have you guys responded to that? What type of considerations do you make where the pandemic is concerned?
So what we basically have been doing, like the rest of the world, is meeting via Zoom. We have still been able to assist our community in the ways of getting out, engaging others to get out and vote. We have socially distanced by encouraging others by staying on the corners of Avenue D and encouraging everyone to complete their census. We also, in the capacity that we are in, have also created a live video where we walked everyone through our big idea, which we'll discuss in the end. It's called The Root. Cool. So we have been engaging in that way, and we meet via Zoom monthly. So we just had a monthly meeting yesterday, and we always talk about business, always the things that we need to do to take care of the community. And we decided that tonight we're just going to spend time on nurturing ourselves and taking care of ourselves. So last night we had a great time playing games via Zoom.
Yes.
Nice. Now, you mentioned your background previously, Lashonda. There's a little bit of overlap there when I think about it. So being a licensed mental health counselor, as it relates to the pandemic, I know that people being shut in, children being at home from school, not being able to socialize and so forth, among a host of other things, come up as counseling issues from the pandemic and the CDC guidelines and social distancing and all those things. Can you talk a little bit about that from a counseling standpoint?
Absolutely. So I want to be clear that anxiety and depression have been on the rampant anyways outside of COVID, and the lack of treatment and the stigma attached to getting counseling has just magnified through the COVID. So now parents are really recognizing these behaviors of their children, and also living with your partners, all the things that we could really go outside to gain coping skills and kind of mask what's going on. You can't do that now through COVID. So you really have to be able to address the issues, or they're going to manifest in ways of self-harming, alcoholism, and of course domestic violence, which is on the rise.
Wow. Now, though there's a number of things and a number of underlying things there, one of the things or differentiations that I wanted you to touch on, if possible, there's mental health and counseling in general through the pandemic. I also think there's mental health and counseling as it relates to Lincoln Park and other communities like it, within the Black community throughout the nation. Can you talk a little bit about counseling as it relates to differences between our community and others?
So that is an easy discussion, but really a hard discussion to hear for a lot of us. There's this stigma that what happens in our homes stays in our homes, and it's really a history of intergenerational trauma that's passed on. And the thought of the ideal, and it's not just associated with African American communities, but it's also in Hispanic communities where they're told that they're not to speak to anyone. So we have this thing that I used to like to say, you have to do more than just pray about it. And there's also a difference between, praying about your mental health, the things that you're experiencing. And it's also a difference between pillow talking with your girlfriend. So we're going to get through this. And that stigma of let's just talk to our pastors, or let me just talk to my girlfriend or my sister and it's going to get better. And that's not the truth. The truth is, what really happens is you end up having more issues with managing your stress and your anxiety and your depression, because at one point you say, I feel like I'm overburdening my peers, or I'm going to handle this on my own. And we basically don't know what to tell each other. You'll get through this, or it's going to get better. Those are not the things someone that's suffering with the ideas of harming themselves and harming others, and basically entertaining the thoughts of our inner critic that tells us that we don't need to be here. So now we are pondering with thoughts of harming ourselves. And then who do we go to? We go to our friends, we go to our family members. Even if we, take that extra step and go to a professional. In our community, right, in that Black community, well, we lack trust. So we're going to be real about this. We lack trust. We don't want this information to get out about each other. So we rather hold it to ourselves. Or if I do go, I leave the session wondering, is she going to tell anybody else? One of the things because I do a lot of therapy in Fort Pierce, and one of the things people ask me, like, who do you know here? Right. And then so I did a presentation in my church, and then one of my sorority sisters said to the congregation, I can tell you for a fact that Lashonda is not going to disclose anything that you tell her. Because one, there's that liability that I care, but I care enough about you that if you're going to seek therapy, that I need to make this space safe so you can keep coming back and you can tell others that it's okay to talk to somebody about what's going on. You're not the only person struggling. And in a time like particularly now in the community of Lincoln Park, we're looking at the kids. The children are really taking a really bad blow right now because they're in the homes, and they used to have people that they could see on the outside, and now they're in the homes with dysfunctional parents. Right, the parents that have their own mental health, and it kind of gets dumped on our children. And then what happens when it gets dumped on our children? It manifests in our community through crime, through behaviors children acted out in school.
Thank you so much for that. There's some good information there that is being shared with our video audience. It also underscores for me Lincoln Park young professionals, people like you, Lashonda, who have varying expertise and backgrounds. These are people who make up this group. So the future is, I guess there's no limit on it. All of the talent that you guys have brought together. Venice, can you talk a little bit about what you guys have accomplished, some of the things you've done to this point?
Well, as Lashonda mentioned, we've worked on census campaigning. We've helped with voter registration. We've definitely encouraged people to vote. We spent a lot of our time also working on our big project, which will benefit the community in a huge way. So that's what we've done so far. We've been blessed in a lot of ways that have kind of thrown us a curveball, but we always seem to make it through. So.
Okay, well, great, because what we've heard of you guys so far, there's great expectations for the future.
Yep.
I know that voting piece and the census piece, that's work that we did at T-Coast and with the Protecting the Village campaign as well. I feel like between ourselves and a group like yours, we were really able to make an impact as the election rolled towards us. Now we're here, the election is passed, the census is passed, we've got a new administration coming in, and with that there should also be some new opportunities, some new opening doors for our communities and group like yours. What do you have in the future? What can we expect for Lincoln Park young professionals as we go into 2021? And you and Lashonda can help us close by just presenting to us what we can expect, what we can look forward to.
You can do the root, so I'll talk about. So our initial goal with Lincoln Park Young Professional, which we, like you said, we were blessed to get the grant, the Big Boom grant. But prior to that, we wanted to activate Lincoln Park. We wanted to be advocate. We wanted to be the voice for the voiceless. And part of being a voice for the voiceless, we want to hold the people that we elect accountable. So we do have a piece of advocacy that not only is for advocacy for our children and our youth in the community, but also we want to be their voices in the city commission, in the county commission, just to let them know that we're not going to settle for another 20 years or 10 years or 2 years of you not taking care of the people that live in Lincoln Park, that look and talk and walk just like we do. So Venice, you can talk about our Big Boom idea.
So in, I believe it was 2018, Allegheny Franciscan Ministries created a grant called the Boom Project. It was building on our own momentum. That's what the acronym stood for. Lincoln Park Young Professionals, this is the founders, the 7 of us. I've never written a grant. I don't think most of us had. So we put our heads together. We met I think weekly. We spent hours at Lashonda's church. I think it was like a event center or something. And we applied, and there was about 20 to 25 different applicants, and we made it past the first process, and it was narrowed down to 5, and then it went down to 3, and we got it. And the grant was actually for $500,000, by the way. We were awarded the $500,000 grant. Our project was the ROOT, which stands for Recognizing Ourselves and Others Together. It's basically an outdoor market / event space. When you think about, some people may have been to Wynwood in Miami. It is like I said, a market, a business incubator. We will have something that's called Telemoxie Library. It is a kind of grab-and-go book library. It's a shipping container concept that the route will consist of. We will have a wooden deck. We will have all types of events, maybe yoga. We're going to try to have even a movie night for the community. Businesses can set up shop in our maybe weekend green market that we'll have. It's going to be a nice concept, and currently we're in the development stage, and that should be open, I would say, sometime in spring or summer. So we're looking forward to it.
And we also, part of the route is we do want to activate activate the Lincoln Theater. So our goal is to activate Avenue D to get it back to what our parents had and what it looked like when our parents were here. And we want to bring that attention, and because we're still one of the only, a few African American owned theaters, and Lincoln Theater is owned by the MLK Martin Luther King Commemorative Committee, which we both sit on the board for as well.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. That is a lot. Seems like there will be definitely an impact felt from Lincoln Park Young Professionals coming into 2021, and we look forward to it. We thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Anthony Maynard. We'll see you again next time.
Thank you.